we've been receiving our Everdrives that we bought last month.
Oh yeah.
Oh, look at that. Mine should be coming any day now.
The Mega Everdrive Pro. So this is the one that can play Sega CD games. I have actually Android Assault playing behind me right now.
Oh,
so
there it is.
It's just a what do you call it? The
Shmup.
Genesis 2 with the Mega Everdrive Pro. So it can, without even a Sega CD attached, it can play Sega CD.
Yeah, so for the uninitiated, the Mega Drive SD is what it's called, right? The Mega Drive SD.
The Mega Everdrive Pro.
Yeah. The Sega one, the big Sega one.
Big old Sega one.
It's back in stock. We both bought one. Mine should be coming in soon. It's like $220, but here's what you get. It will play as long as you have you don't need the Sega CD add-on, but if you want to play 32X, you have to have the 32X add-on. But so all you need is a Genesis Mini 2, the 32X add-on, and that will get you, with that Everdrive, you'll be able to play on an original console, Master System, Genesis, 32X, Sega CD. That's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Yeah, I was playing a little bit of Golden Axe Warrior or whatever it's called. That's the Zelda clone.
Yeah,
it's horrible. But
I was lost in the first like 30 seconds. It was a menu system I didn't want to get to know, and I fucking noped out.
Yeah, you gotta open a game facts tab, and it's just too far. It's too far of a travel. But it has been really fun. I've been loading it up with a bunch of Sega, because Sega CD totally passed me by. I went right from NES to Super Nintendo, and we did have a Genesis, but it was neglected, and we didn't put add-ons onto it. So it's fun to get those premium Genesis experiences with beautiful soundtracks. Like Final Fight CD is great. I've been playing Android Assault obviously, and then
are you playing on a 6-button?
No. Well, I ordered the 8-bit though, but I think it's on a slow ship from China, so I just have the classic. This is my one from childhood. That'll do you. The C button is a little sticky, but it works. It works enough, and it's been fun. I think the Sega CD is grand. It's a grand time.
I got in my NES, which is the N8 Pro Everdrive, and I got in my N64 Everdrive. So for those who haven't been following the saga closely, we have a million ways to emulate, but we also both kind of got into like playing these games on an old CRT. And the more I think about it, the more I really am convinced that like this whole thing of like, I'm going to take an original console, I'm going to spend a tremendous amount of money to make it output in 4K to my 4K television. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. I think like, I think you've lost the thread entirely. I think you're not if you're going to output to 4K, just fucking software emulate and get over yourself. But if what you want is some kind of an original experience with the original console, well, to me, the TV is just as much a part of that, if not the biggest part of that. That like is the CRT television is really a big piece. So given that
something organic about it, it's something.
Yeah. If that's what you're after. Yeah, right. It can't be all about input lag, guys. like that millisecond of input lag that makes me want to use the original console and spend $1,000 outputting the 4K to my television. But I have really enjoyed playing old NES games on my CRT. And then like N64, it emulates for shit. Like even if you do have like a really high end like PC that can do it, it still just doesn't look right. The aesthetic doesn't look right. Like,
I have that mini PC that I have, and you can play Mario 64, but some of the polygons just like jiggle. They wiggle and waggle in ways that they didn't in the original console.
Totally. And I would even go as far as to say like, I think playing Mario 64 with like a Switch Pro controller is totally fine. But generally speaking, for most of that library, those racing games and Turok, and you got to use the original controller because the original controller was stupid. And then they made the games for the stupid controller. So you have to be uniform.
Trident.
Yeah, right. So I think that like as far as technology allows right now, if what you want is to play a bunch of N64 games you've never played before, which is it's likely that they're it wasn't a huge library, but nobody owned most of the library. And the games go for pretty high prices these days, unless it's like John Madden 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I think the Everdrive is the way to go. So it was kind of like because I feel like I've really explored a lot of retro game libraries, but the N64 you just didn't have as much of an opportunity. So it was like Christmas Eve. My kid was watching like a Disney Channel movie. This real piece of shit. And but everybody's cozy. I'm just happy that we're there. And I said, "Oh man, I'll take the 9-inch CRT television, bring it out to the living room with everybody."
Oh yeah.
And I bought her, by the way, an N64 controller, a blue. Her favorite color is blue.
Wow.
And this will be my portable N64 system, is just having a little teeny TV. And probably like 6 hours, I just cycled through N64 games. I just had the time of my life. I played a lot of crap, but I played some fun ones too. There's like a Hot Wheels racing game that was pretty fun. Like San Francisco Rush is good. Extreme G is actually a genuinely good racing game. It controls nicely, which is rare for that system. I played Turok for a while. Worst thing about that game, because it's a first-person shooter, and their first-person shooters, Doom 64, Quake 64, like Duke Nukem 64, they all play fine. The problem is when it's the South Park. The South Park and Nintendo 64 and PlayStation game copied this. They have you in first-person mode platforming.
Right. Right, and they didn't really nail it. I didn't think they nailed platforming in 3D until like Metroid Prime on GameCube, where they had the character kind of look down as they jump, so you could see the platforms. But
yeah, it's a nightmare. And they've got you doing stuff that like it's probably not going to work out. You're probably just going to fall down pits. And it's not like they give you unlimited lives like they do in modern games. You got
I remember it being pretty brutal.
It was shitty. So I got through like some major part of it. And then in Turok, there's like this landing area where they were like, here, like you need all the keys to get into all these different levels. And like, I was like, I don't know which keys I have and don't have, guys. I'm out. Were there any others so here's my other woe is, I played the NES one, which supports save states and has some nice quality of life things like that. On my top loader for about 2 days, and now it does not power on. It's broken. And I've been communicating with the Ukraine, the war-torn Ukraine. It feels very trivial to be contacting them with these issues.
Bombs are exploding as they're opening up their email client, and there's like, oh shit, Frankie Frayne is having problems.
Like, here's the deal, dude. You give me $200, I ship you the cartridge, and that's the end of our relationship. But yeah, it just won't power on. And I think the reason is because I didn't realize these things draw a ton of power. And you have to have like the first party, whatever the voltage was. I think I was using a third party one because I had bought it on eBay at some point when I thought I was missing the power supply. I think I must have burned it or something. That's the best explanation. I went on Reddit and everybody had the same troubleshooting steps, try on a different NES and try on a different TV, try whatever. I even swapped the battery. I opened it up and swapped the battery on. I thought maybe the battery was burned, but it's broken. And so Crix is the Ukrainian company. They'll take it back and they'll repair it. I think I just have to ship it at my expense, unfortunately. That was a real bummer.
That is a bummer. Yeah.
Oh, but the N64 one plays NES.
So does the Mega Drive. Let me throw on a game.
Does it actually work?
Yeah, let's see. Some games work, some don't. So let's see.
I would say it's pretty much flawless for N64.
Let's see. So Mario 3 does not work, but you can start up. There's Super Mario Bros. Right there on a Genesis with a Genesis controller.
Holy shit!
It's like I don't know. Genesis, I guess, does
yeah, and
Genesis
Nintendo
does. It's pretty cool.
You see the big kind of flashy thing this week was that somebody made their own version of the Cowabunga collection on Dreamcast.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
It was a cute thing. They I mean, of course it's easy. All they had to do was emulate all of those original games and made their own menus for it and called it the Cowabunga collection. And they included some ROM hacks and bootleggy stuff, Streets of Rage mods and that sort of thing. But they also included like the Coming Out of Our Shell tour, and they included other things that probably Konami didn't have the rights to, and just a cute little, a few gaming YouTubers highlighted it. It was kind of cool.
I remember in college that was a thing. Like people had Dreamcasts, and because Dreamcast doesn't have really good DRM, you could just burn a disc. So somebody had a disc of just a bunch of ROMs, and so they were playing. I went to a party and somebody was playing Dreamcast and they were playing Super Mario Bros. I'm like, how are you doing this?
What's going on?
What's going on? So
I'm calling my parents.
College was a mistake.
Mom, Dad, they're playing Nintendo games on a Sega console. We'll be right there.
Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.